Hello everyone, welcome to another Music Talk Tuesday. Apologize I had to delay this video. Unfortunately, I was pretty busy over the weekend and leading up to the beginning of this week. I should be caught up by the end of today. So without further ado, for this particular Music Talk, I thought it'd be interesting to cover the sort of importance of content that is sort of emphasized, at least within the modern day, when it comes to music. Now, what I mean by content is I mean by producing more and more and more music. Content is a lot more heavily emphasized than at least than it used to, or at least than it used to be, because not only did it take more time to, come together and sort of create an album, but now not only is it a lot more easier to do that, but there's also a less of a focus on trying to get hits of songs, because hits are so finite, at least when it comes to nowadays, because the world moves so quickly that a hit doesn't really translate to people as much as it did back in the day. Because originally with music and how it was, uh, you know, introduced sort of to people through radio and whatnot, it makes sense that people would cling on to these particular songs, and eventually certain songs would become hits, and people would recognize the band for these hit songs that they did. And it was the songs that everybody was listening to as well, and hence people would buy the albums. But with now the ability for people to just sort of buy songs now, for people to use streaming services, create their own lists of music, it's really gotten to a point where it's sort of changing in a way where artists, in order to be more valuable, they have to focus more on generating a lot more music than focusing on trying to get a big hit. Because at least a lot of hits, even back in the day, could have been considered, really one-hit wonders. But again, there is more of an emphasis now to really build sort of a kind of brand behind the musician, and in doing so sort of please the fan base, and just keep generating more and more and more and more and more. It's sort of like more is more. It's not how it used to be, where it was sort of less is more, or people gravitating more towards the hits or things that people were able to listen to. Now it's more so trying to generate a stream of different songs to which people can listen to, and to which your particular, or at least to which the particular base that you have, at least of people who listen to your music, listen to, at least, because again, music, at least nowadays, is becoming a little bit more niche in certain areas, because you have certain demographics of people who gravitate more towards one particular genre than other people who gravitate to another particular genre. So again, it's all about trying to cultivate the people that really like your music, and in doing so, give them as much content as you possibly can. So you kind of don't really fade away, because again, we live in a world that is so fast-paced now, and everything is so bam, bam, bam because of the internet, that the hit is not necessarily it doesn't have such a huge importance anymore. And again, it's not to say that the hits aren't going to be played more so on the radio. It's just that people are going to be able to consume more, um, and in doing so, get a lot more from the particular artist that they enjoy. Now, there could be an argument to be made that, you know, it's better to focus on trying to create a good chunk of good songs rather than trying to keep going at it and not really putting any real thought behind the process. And I think that can definitely be understandable, especially with the kind of consumer culture that we have going on, where people are just constantly taking things in, and you know they're just kind of taking it in for the sake of taking it in, but then ultimately not having uh, a real sense of what made certain songs stick out. Um, and that could maybe potentially be a problem. But again, this is sort of the trend in which it's going, at least from the research that I could pull. It seems like that this emphasis on content is going to continue, and I think it definitely has some advantages, only because, again, since it's getting a lot easier to make music, and since the public is getting used to having new music coming out and out and out and out and out more frequently, then it's definitely safe to say that, you know, this trend will continue, but it remains to be seen where it will go from here. But those are just my honest thoughts, and from what I could tell, what I could gather at least from this topic. But if there are any questions, comments, concerns, I'd be more than happy to answer them. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a pleasant day, week, month, and year, and I hope to see you on the next video.